Welcome to Southwest Desert, where adventure meets the arid beauty of the American Southwest. Join us as we explore the rugged landscapes, uncover hidden historical gems, and dive deep into the rich legends and culture of this iconic region. Subscribe now and hit the bell icon so you don't miss out on our latest desert adventures. Please leave a like or comment. This is very helpful. Let's journey together into the heart of the Southwest Desert. Two miles underground in the abandoned mines of Bonanza, Colorado, a most unexpected discovery once shocked the mining community. It wasn't gold, silver, or any precious metal that caught their attention. It was beavers, hundreds of them, gnawing away at support timbers, creating a bizarre wildlife infestation that threatened to collapse the entire network of tunnels. While the town above slowly faded into history, the abandoned mines below became home to colonies of industrious rodents who created one of the strangest problems in mining history. Nestled high in Colorado's Cochetopa Hills at nearly 9,500 feet above sea level, Bonanza emerged like countless western mining towns, with a lucky strike, ambitious dreams, and the frenzied rush of thousands seeking instant fortune. The tale of this particular settlement, however, winds through remarkable highs, devastating lows, and peculiar twists that make this ghost town uniquely fascinating among America's abandoned mining communities. The story begins in spring 1880. Two prospectors, Pete McCardo and John Stansberry, made their way through the rugged terrain of what would later become Bonanza. They weren't even searching for precious metals that fateful day. They were simply seeking a shortcut across Marshall Pass to reach the Gunnison country. In classic mining lore fashion, they accidentally stumbled upon oxidized quartz in quantities substantial enough to trace back to the original vein. They promptly staked their claim, naming it the Exchequer Mine. News of their discovery spread with remarkable speed across mining circuits. Within just 2 years, approximately 5,000 people had flocked to the hills surrounding Cripple Creek. The familiar Western narrative unfolded. A promising vein in a rock face transformed pristine wilderness into a bustling boomtown almost overnight. What distinguishes Bonanza in these early days was that it initially wasn't one settlement at all, but 4 competing communities all vying for dominance. Exchequerville built around the original mine, Sedgwick developing as a separate mining community, Kerber City named after the creek running through the area, and finally, Bonanza itself. These 4 settlements literally quarreled for preference, each attempting to establish itself as the district's primary town. Geographic proximity made their long-term coexistence impractical, and eventually, Bonanza absorbed the other 3, though Exchequerville resisted absorption longest, believing it could maintain independence due to its association with one of the oldest and most productive mineral properties. By 1881, Bonanza secured official municipal incorporation as Bonanza City. During its peak in the early 1880s, historical sources claim the population swelled to approximately 20,000 people, a figure possibly exaggerated, as frontier towns often inflated their importance to attract investment and settlers. At its height, Bonanza boasted 2 principal streets lined with creaky wooden boardwalks, typical of frontier boomtowns. An astonishing 40 saloons catered to thirsty miners, creating such disorder that both a United States deputy marshal and a substantial local police force struggled to maintain even basic order. This remarkable concentration of drinking establishments earned Bonanza its reputation as wild and woolly by period standards, no small distinction in an era when frontier towns weren't exactly known for their refinement. Despite this rowdy reputation, Bonanza developed considerable infrastructure including an organized fire department, a banking institution, a custom-built smelter, and not one but two competing newspapers, the Enterprise and the Bonanza News, which operated with less success than its competitor. One curious distinction set Bonanza apart from nearly every other mining settlement of its era. Despite following typical patterns of development, the town never established any formal religious institutions. This absence of formal religious structures persisted throughout the town's entire history. The economic heart of Bonanza consisted of its network of approximately 70 mineral properties scattered throughout nearby gulches. The original Exchequer mine maintained its status as one of the finest in the camp throughout its history. Operated vigorously by Rathvon and Company during peak production years, it consistently shipped approximately 3 tons of rich ore daily to regional smelters and employed a large workforce. The crown jewel of Bonanza's mining operations was undoubtedly the Empress Josephine Mine, recognized as the single most important property in the entire camp. During early production, one carload alone yielded $20,000, an enormous sum for the era. Unfortunately, the original owners employed haphazard mining techniques, sinking shafts and burrowing into veins without method, order, or system. Despite these inefficiencies, total production reached approximately $200,000 during the boom period. As miners dug deeper, however, they encountered increasingly difficult conditions. The shaft extended to 420 feet, where further development halted due to water inflow, with no existing pumps of the era capable of managing the volume encountered. Among other notable operations, the Raleigh mine stands out for its impressive production history. It represented one of the richest strikes in the district's history and sold for the then record price of $100,000 in 1881. Over its lifetime, it produced more than $6 million worth of ore, an extraordinary return on investment. Life in Bonanza wasn't solely focused on mineral extraction. The community experienced characteristic mining frontier challenges, claim-jumping disputes, vigilante justice, occasional riots, and various violent crimes. The most notorious criminal incident involved the killing of an Irishman named John O'Hara by a Negro musician known as Bush Forbush, a former Arkansas resident renowned for his marksmanship who could pop off the head of a squirrel with the greatest of ease. The murder occurred following an unspecified quarrel when Forbush deliberately shot O'Hara during a street confrontation. The incident provoked an organized response from the camp's Irish population, who prepared for lynching. Forbush barricaded himself in a log cabin with his gun protruding between logs. In a surprising turn, when confronted by an unnamed man, Forbush meekly surrendered his weapon and followed instructions to flee over the hills to Saguache. He was eventually tried and acquitted, after which he disappeared from local history, only to resurface years later leading a delegation of Arkansas-colored men to Washington, D.C., supporting Grover Cleveland's campaign. The social fabric of daily life reveals itself through newspaper accounts preserved in the Enterprise. Recreation centered primarily around saloons, billiards, and bowling facilities, as the paper noted that billiards and 10 pins are the chief sources of amusement to our young men. By the 1890s, Bonanza's fortunes reversed dramatically. Competing mineral discoveries in Ashcroft and Aspen successfully drew investment capital and speculative interest away from the once booming camp. The population contracted from thousands to approximately 100 residents by 1900. Former full-time miners adapted by transitioning to ranching as their primary livelihood while maintaining minimal mining activity for supplemental income. As mines were abandoned, an unexpected ecological complication arose. Large numbers of beavers invaded the abandoned mine workings and began gnawing on critical support timbers. These industrious rodents penetrated as deep as 2 miles underground, creating significant safety hazards by damaging structural supports. The problem persisted and intensified over subsequent decades until, by the 1930s, the beaver overpopulation reached such critical levels that professional trappers were hired to address the infestation. This unusual environmental complication represents a distinctive challenge rarely documented in other mining districts. Despite the general decline, several significant attempts were made to revive Bonanza's fortunes. The most notable effort came under General W.S. Rosecrans, who learned about the declining camp through personal connections and applied a strategic approach. He secured controlling interest in the Empress Josephine Mine, then expanded holdings to include 8 additional properties, establishing a dominant position in the district. Leveraging his personal network, he recruited wealthy New York associates as financial backers and established a mining company with substantial Eastern capital. These revival efforts were fueled partly by a growing geological consensus that Bonanza was situated on a significant mineral belt, theoretically extending from Cripple Creek through to Creed. Mining experts postulated a potential continuous gold belt throughout this extensive region, raising the tantalizing possibility of another Cripple Creek or second Aspen. This theory generated renewed attention and triggered over 2,000 new mining claims filed during this period of optimism. The syndicate maintained active investment for approximately 3 years, consolidating around 200 acres of mining property with clear legal titles. Despite significant capital expenditure, however, these revival efforts ultimately fell victim to fundamental geological and economic realities that couldn't be overcome through investment alone. The death knell for Bonanza's aspirations as a thriving mining center came in 1937, when a devastating fire destroyed virtually the entire business district along with numerous residential cabins and houses. The economic impact was compounded by the complete absence of rebuilding. None of the destroyed structures were reconstructed, a clear indicator of the town's diminished prospects. Perched at precisely 9,465 feet above sea level in Colorado's magnificent Cochetopa Hills, Bonanza stands as testament to the boom and bust cycle that shapes so much of the American West. From the accidental discovery that launched a mining stampede, through decades of prosperity, decline, and attempted revivals, to its current status as a quiet reminder of frontier ambitions, Bonanza's story encompasses the full arc of Western mining history, including those unexpected beavers who made their home in the abandoned tunnels where gold fever once reigned. Join my Patreon community and discover my art print products on my website in the links provided in my description and link above. Also, if you would like a particular image from my videos, give the timestamp for image, and I will upload it to my website and Patreon. Thank you. Thank you for joining your desert frontiersman Alan for another Southwest Gold story. Check out my large catalog of Southwest videos and playlists on historical tales, legends, lost gold stories, and adult bedtime stories. If you would like a certain image from my videos, tell me in comments and give timestamp. Happy trails. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe for more great content. Hit the notification bell so you never miss an update. See you in the next video.